not explain. Something that you know, the laws of nature, that this is not supposed to happen, yet it happened. A phenomenon. For example, when God was sending Moses back to Pharaoh, he said, Pharaoh, that rod that you are carrying, I am going to touch it so that it can carry power. And when Moses got before Pharaoh, Pharaoh said, show me a sign. And Moses dropped his dry stick on the ground and it became a snake. That is unexplainable. That is a miracle. And he called his magicians who also did same. But the difference was that the snake of miracle used the snakes of the other magician as lunch and dinner. Are you listening to me? That is a miracle. It is a miracle when he could touch the water and it turns to blood. Nobody can explain. It's a miracle when he took that very stick and touched the ground and frogs came out. It is a miracle when they got to the Red Sea. You know that he left Egypt with 3.5 million people. So there's no way he could have created enough ships and boats to cross them quickly so that Pharaoh's army would not kill them. But it was a miracle when he stretched the rod and the Red Sea parted. As I'm talking, God is stretching the rod over somebody's Red Sea right here and right now. If you are that one, you better shout hallelujah. It's a miracle. When they saw bitter water, and all God said is, cut a tree, drop in that water, and the water became sweet. It's a miracle when they were in the desert. No food. And one day God said, just lift up your hands. I will send free groceries. Do you hear me? Free groceries. And manna began to fall in the desert. And he fed 3.5 million people. Don't forget that they were multiplying. Without collecting an offering, having a bakery or baking. God didn't bake anybody. Yet he was able to rain manna. Not only that, when they had no water, he said to Moses, strike the rock and water will come out. Can you see God? We serve a God of miracle. We serve a God of signs and wonder. And when Moses died, they thought that was it. And he picked his armor bearer, Joshua, and said, Joshua, that same power is upon you. And when they got to Jericho wall, he said, you don't have bulldozer, you don't have explosive. Just shout. Somebody ought to shout right now. Somebody ought to shout right there. Somebody ought to jump and shout, because your Jericho wall is coming down by the power of a shout. If you believe, say yes. And after they marched and shouted, a whole wall that I've made, they said 6 chariots, 6 lanes could run side by side on that wall. That is where the prostitute Rahab built her house. Came down with a shout. It can only be a miracle of Jehovah. I see somebody here getting a miracle coming to your life. I don't know who you are, but I say shout. That is a miracle. It's a miracle, child of God. And when they could go to a land they didn't even have guns, spears, arrows, they were able to take a land occupied by giants. It can only be a miracle. It is a miracle when a man called David with a stone, sir, a stone, could pull down Goliath, who had been a warrior from his youth. When men's hearts were failing, when the soldiers could not do it, a small boy from the back bush or desert of life came with a stone and killed a giant.